can get reviews on books, articles, or any published concepts in the same link 7 p.m. every day. We encourage each one of you to use this space for self and others' growth. Coming to today's presentation, it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Chitra. Today's reviews is book titled Slow Productivity. Let's listen to Ms. Chitra what the author says in his book. Welcome, Ms. Chitra. The stage is yours. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Seva ma'am. Good evening to all of you. Good morning to all of you. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties, so there is a delay in starting the session. Thank you so much for your patience. So yeah, thank you, Seva ma'am, for hosting this. I'll get started with the book session. I welcome all of you. Today, we are going to review this book, Slow Productivity. This is the book, and this is written by Cal Newport. He's a famous author. He's an American author. So, quick intro about the author. This is Cal Newport. So, he is a professor at Georgetown University, and he's also a famous author who have written a lot of books, more than 8 or 9 books. And I have also listed his other books because some of his books are very famous and very useful in this modern era, because a lot of his books focuses on like how to focus and create some valuable product or things that we want to do in our life. So that's all. He mainly focuses on how to follow digital ethics that will allow us to maximize our potential, and also he focuses on like reducing the digital exposure and focus more on creating things. And also like he has in this book he is more mainly focusing on productivity, and he's coming up with a new philosophy on productivity. So if we generally think about productivity, uh, we all have a common notion that productivity means we have to do more things, get more things done fast. But this particular philosophy he is talking about is little bit different, where he is focusing mainly on the quality. So this might be, we might have to look at this with an open mind, because this might be a little unconventional way of looking at it. And also to give you one other point here is like this book, even though it's a New York bestseller, it has got a lot of critics. Like a lot of people did not like this book. So let's see. I will share what I understood from this book, and after the session, let me know your thoughts, like whether you like this philosophy or not. So I have just added the other books he has written, because these are like really good books, Deep Work. I have read Deep Work few years back. I'll also try to present this book in future. It's a really very good book, and I haven't read the other books, but these two books are very famous: Deep Work, Digital Minimalism, and the today's book, Slow Productivity. And since he is a professor, like he has also written a lot of books for students. So I think I just added these books because we have a lot of students in our group who will get exposure to these books. Moving on to our book, let's get into our topic of today, productivity. Let's start with defining productivity. So basically, what is productivity? The common definition we can say is the ratio of output uh, for a given input. So for this input, like what is the output? If you look at this in terms of agriculture or industry, in agriculture, it is bushels per acre. They have a term called bushels per acre, that how much crop you have grown per acre. So that's how the productivity can be measured. In industries, if we take an example of automobile, how many automobile has been produced for 1 hour of labor effort. So that is kind of a measure in industrial setup. So there are like, if you look at American industry, if we go back 100 years back, Ford as a company where like they wanted to improve their productivity of automobile. So in Ford factory, they brought up a T model production, which improved the productivity by like reducing the labor effort of 13 hours to 1 hour, which in which like you can they were able to produce vehicles, automobiles within 1 hour. So something like that. So these are like the general terminologies like we use for productivity in terms of factory work, in terms of agriculture. But when we look at this particular notion of productivity in for knowledge workers, we cannot apply the same thing for knowledge worker, because for knowledge workers the effort is different. The cognitive effort, like the physical effort, varies from the cognitive effort. And even when we put some cognitive effort, the value or the outcome we are going to get cannot be directly related to what cognitive effort we have put in. So the challenge is here to define the productivity with the same notion will not work for knowledge worker because of these challenges like variability of effort, how complicated it is, and like we also do not have like a single clear out one single output to track, like in terms of automobile, how many automobile we manufactured. In that, we cannot define a clear output in one measure. So these are the challenges in putting this productivity in terms of knowledge workers. So this book is mainly focused on improving the productivity of knowledge workers, and it also more focuses on people who have little autonomy in their work, and you do have some autonomy to choose and how you are able to plan your day. Only then like this these tips might work. But even if you are in an early phase of your career, or like for someone who is in initial phase of career who do not have much autonomy, who has to just who is being closely monitored by supervisors, this may not work immediately, but having this philosophy, like learning this philosophy, will help us in a lot of ways. Once we have that autonomy, we can still try to implement this. And so like for example of knowledge workers, there are a lot of people who try to define productivity for knowledge workers. So he has given an example of Davenport's book, Thinking for a Living. In that book, Davenport tried to define productivity for knowledge workers, like how to measure productivity. In that, like some of the points were like counting the number of academic papers was published by the professor, or like something like that was the points discussed. But he also mentioned in that book there those like counting the number of papers published, or like how many things we completed. Those things may not be a good measure for productivity, because it doesn't count the quality part of it, or doesn't count how much value it created. So that is the main challenge of productivity in knowledge work. So in order to like because of this vagueness, or this confusion around the knowledge workers on productivity, what happens is like we get into something called pseudo productivity, because we have autonomy, but there is no structure or something which we could follow. Because of that, like we define our own productivity, and sometimes like some people may not have a good system or the process, so that leads to like being busy. And we also constantly like have a pressure to be busy, because we also feel guilty if you are not busy, like okay, I'm not busy this week, then we start feeling guilty, oh no, I'm not doing enough. So that is like kind of internal mindset as well. It's not just about the external pressure. We also always have this pressure of like always we should be busy, keep doing something. And so that is what is pseudo productivity, like visible activity, that we are keep on doing something, and also people can see we are doing something. That is called the pseudo productivity. Example I can say in corporate world can be like back and forth emails, like if I keep writing emails, responding to all the emails, like people can see that I'm at my desk and I'm responding back. So maybe these are the things like you can see like how we might work in these ways. So this is about pseudo productivity. And other point here is like because of the technology, the so much drastic changes in the technology and the benefits of technology, we have started taking up a lot of things because it has made things smoother, like communication has become easier. And we think we also have a perception that okay, this thing will take only this much time, let me take this up. Like that, we do not have a clear picture on how much cognitive effort a work can take. Like without that picture, like we end up taking more. We don't really know how to measure the cognitive effort will be required for this particular task, or we don't do that deliberately. We just think okay, this is a small thing, I'll take it up. Like that, we'll keep taking up too many things, and we end up doing more administrative tasks than doing actual work. So this is what is causing burnout and exhaustion. So when we take up more things, you have to like when you are started owning something, then what will happen is you have to have a lot of communication. You have to even though like you are going to work on certain things, you might also have some administrative task where you need to coordinate with people. You may have to like set up meeting and discuss with people, and lot of other tasks around that will be there. It's kind of some tasks or projects themselves are like task engines that they will themselves will create like too many tasks that we need to do apart from the actual task what we are going to make real value. So that is the basic understanding about pseudo productivity and the challenges of technology, which is leading us to take up too many things because of the because of things have become more easier. And to add this point, now like AI has added lot of more pressure on this aspect. Like since AI has come, like there is a expectation that we need to get things done fast, and like we need to leverage it and all that. So that is going to add us more burden on us if we cannot manage this. So moving for this, like we let's go for an alternative approach. So in order to go to think about the alternative approach, let's just let me just introduce this slowness revolution. Where he talks about there was a slow food revolution happened in 1986. McDonald's started their restaurant in a place in Italy, and people were not happy because in Italy, like uh, there is a thing where like people like the concept of slow food in the sense they want to have food with people as a community, and like they want to like enjoy the food, and also like food should not become like a monotonous thing. They don't want to Americanize this food concept, where like in American food, fast food was like the famous thing where like you can just go within 5 minutes you can get the food that you order from the counter. And like you also have drive-throughs where you just go, you tell what you want, and within 2 minutes your order will be ready and you can take it and go. So that's the fast food concept. But in Italy, like there was a revolution that they started when this happened, when the McDonald's was started in place in Italy. It sparked controversy within people, and they want to encourage the local people and the local business, and they want to encourage like the process of making the food in the more traditional way, where like the ingredients are fresh, they are made fresh, and the chef doesn't like rush just to make the food, but he follows all the steps he want to follow to make those traditional food tasty and enjoyable for the people. So that is about the slowness revolution, and author takes an inspiration from this particular revolution and brings this philosophy, the new philosophy of slow productivity. So, uh, what are the advantages of that slow food movement was? Like even now in Italy, like there are like local shops, and if you go to a lot of food markets, there are places where you can taste the authentic local food made fresh, and there is also a culture like having food with friends and family and enjoying the meal, eating and sitting and talking, and enjoying the process of having a meal, and it's kind of more humane and sustainable lifestyle rather than just grabbing something, eating, and then running. So that was the main idea about that slow food revolution, and so the author is taking the inspiration from there, and he is trying to define what is slow productivity here. So the slow productivity is like it's mainly focused on knowledge work. Knowledge work efforts, we need to make our efforts more sustainable and more meaningful to us rather than just getting things completed and pushing it out. Making these efforts like more sustainable and meaningful manner, and we can also follow these three steps to achieve that. One is like do fewer things. uh, First point is that about taking only fewer things. Second point is about working at a natural pace, in our own pace, and not like rushing through or like doing it in stress or hurry. So that is about the working at natural pace. And third point is about obsess with quality. So the whole book, the second part of the book was divided into these three categories, and he explains how we can achieve these three things. So let's start with doing fewer things. I'll read out the definition what he has given in the book. Strive to reduce your obligations to the point where you can easily imagine accomplishing them with time to spare. Leverage this reduced load to more fully embrace and advance the small number of projects that matters most. So basically, with the definition, if I can say, he's saying when you take fewer things and put more focus on the fewer things that you are doing, and then uh, do it with your full attention and focus, and do it with the quality that you want to put in the work. So that's the whole idea of this. And here like he gives us some tips like how we can achieve this. So there are a lot of things. I have listed the main important points from this chapter. So first thing is limiting the projects and limiting the missions. So we need to have a limited focus like projects. Mission in the sense like a big project, which which is like a, if we take a personal example, it is like a 5-year plan for your personal growth. So that is also comes under mission. And at work or career also, you can have a mission what you want to accomplish in 5 years. So that is a mission. So when you take up these missions, limit them like to 2 or 3 missions, greater missions, and always focus on long-term missions and work. And we can see how we can work towards the long-term missions. And projects are like little comparatively shorter ones, maybe like 6 months. It might take us 6 months or 3 months or 3 months to 6 months. Even projects, like it's better to limit them to three maximum. And he would suggest two, but I know it's practically impossible. Maybe we can keep it as three. So because project themselves will have a lot of tasks, so that is what he talks about in this chapter also, to avoid the overhead of like the administrative task rather than the actual task that we need to do. And limit daily goals. For example, in this point, what he's talking saying is, if for a particular day, like you focus on one project should be a major focus of for that day. You can still do like communication or like follow-ups or other things related to other projects, but the main focused activity that you're going to do should be focused on one project, so that the goal for a particular day will be very clear, that you can accomplish something within that particular day. When we do this way, we since we are putting all our energy and focus on one thing, we will also be able to deliver it with quality, and we will also be able to um, work with more focus and flow. So that is the reason why he's asking to limit the daily goals. So when I read this, I remembered one more thing, like which I got to know from some book review or some podcast, where like in that they would have mentioned about daily highlights. So I was from few months back, I started following that daily highlight. So every day, end of my day at work, I'll just put one thing that I accomplished for that day, like one highlight for that particular day. So when I started doing that, then every day I felt, okay, let me at least do one thing properly today. And that's how I started doing. I also eventually able to do more things, but that focusing on getting one highlight for the day was very helpful for me. So I could very well relate to this daily limiting daily goals. And second task is about other suggestion is about putting task on autopilot. So what he trying to say here is, let's have a routine or a uh, ritual that we do on weekly basis or daily basis. So on this particular day, for example, I'll start with my example. On Thursday evening, I'll go to library and I'll study my course for 2 hours with focused time, something like that. So you can create like a weekly schedule that you follow every week. So what will happen is, like, you will always have everything planned on that particular time. For another example from work, I could say is, have 1 hour of office hours set up with your team, where in that 1 hour of office hours every day, your team knows, okay, between 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. He is available or she is available. I can go and meet her and discuss about these things. Like that, they will also know that this is the time you will be available for them to discuss about any help you can provide or advice you can give. So if you follow this kind of routine, it will make things easy, because you are doing it in a more autopilot. You are not every day like going and seeing what I have to do, or like what is my next thing, but you have like automated like all this schedule and routines. So if I am doing a course, a 3 months course or a 6 months course, then like I have a schedule. I know, okay, every day I have to study for 30 minutes. Only then I can reach my, I will be able to complete my course. So then I'll put it on my calendar every day. this time, like 9 p.m. to 9:30, I'll study this subject. Like that, I'll put it on my calendar. So that will become like, that is more of like making all your things autopilot on a schedule. So you will do it in advance without having like without getting into in the habit of doing it in the last minute in a rush. So that is about autopilot, putting task on autopilot. Another tip he is sharing here is reverse task list. Reverse task list is when somebody is coming to you for some information or for something, then you might get some task in your bucket, in your to-do list. But when they're asking some, maybe it can be like they're asking for some clarification, or they're asking you to do some task. It could be anything that might need your effort. So he's asking to create a shared public space like a Trello board or something, where the person who is sending you a request can fill in all the information needed for that task, and then some put it in your queue. Like I would take the example of Kanban board. So most of you might be aware of this, but I can also tell you what is a Kanban board. So in our project, like we use Kanban board, like we work as in a Scrum model. So we have like backlog. We have like three tabs. Like we have backlog, and we have in progress things, and then completed items. Like that, let me show you this particular. Yeah, this is like an example snapshot. I took it from internet. So you can create a Trello board. This is a Kanban board where you have a to-do list, and you have a category of in progress and review and done. So usually instead of this review, we used to have another column before in progress, which is blocked. Like if I need some inputs from someone, that will be in blocked status. Here in this example, they have given to do, in progress, review, and completed. Like this, if you have this board, this to do is, or you can also call it as backlog. So when somebody is like asking you something, or like giving you some task, you can make them put a card on this backlog. So and then they have to make it mandatory to fill all the details. So instead of having a overload of going back and asking them, what do you need, or why do you need this, and all those details back and forth, if you clearly mention what all mandatory things you need from them when they are giving a task, then they will fill those things, and it will come to your bucket. And they will also, when they see like you have too many things in your backlog, they might also end up not giving it to you and giving it to someone else, or maybe they will consider giving it to you later. So that is like an idea behind this reverse task list. And this idea comes from um, this also talks about the pull workflows. So if you would have got introduced to the concept of lean and the Japanese manufacturing concepts, there is a concept called pull workflow. So whenever, okay, let me give you a background on what is pull workflow. Difference between push workflow and pull workflow. Generally, push workflow is like we take, let's go in the context of manufacturing. Like we create we are manufacturing a car or automobile. It will be done in mass production, where like instead of looking for the request, like how many orders have come for automobile, how many orders have come for this particular car or model, they just go with, okay, let's produce 100 vehicles today, or like that. They just go with mass production idea. That is like keep producing things and pushing it. So the challenges in the push workflow is like, if you, one thing is like if nobody orders that product, it is going to stay in the factory, Another thing is like you're burdening the employees instead, even though you haven't got any proper order or like from the customer end, you're just manufacturing them and burdening your employees for no value. So that is about the push workflow. But in Japan, there was a concept introduced called pull workflow, where in manufacturing, like only when they know like this many orders have come for a given car or a model, they will start the manufacturing. So they will start, okay, they'll that the pull trigger will be sent. Okay, an order has come, let's start this. So one piece at a time. So one car at a time. The one car will be manufactured at a time. And in that line, only one particular vehicle will be in that line. That is the concept of pull workflow. It can be applied in our other areas as well. So that is where like we can use this approach of having the backlog, and just when you complete in this in progress, when you are able to complete all these tasks, or maybe you completed two tasks, then you can pull one or two into your in progress, instead of like looking at everything and getting overwhelmed. Your in progress should be limited to three. So that will be the more efficient way of doing it. We do follow this if in my project also, like we have a scrum model, and as I said, like we have a Kanban board in Jira where we follow this methodology. So I was able to relate this closely to that Kanban model. So that is about this. If you need more details, I can also share with you offline. And I'll move forward to the next chapter is about work at natural pace. This is working at natural pace. Let me start with the definition. Don't rush your important work. Allow it instead to unfold along a sustainable timeline with variations in intensity in settings conducive to brilliance. So basically, what he's saying is, don't do the things in rush. Take your time and give full attention and care on the task, and do it with more with how much time it really takes, instead of just rushing and completing it. And this also emphasizes the importance of enjoying the process of doing it, not just feeling good after completing it. Only when you enjoy the things, you will be able to like stay with it and do it. So that is about working at a natural pace. So let's see like how what we can do, like how we can implement this. So for working at our natural pace, we need to have a long vision. We need to have a long term plans, like 5-year plan. So for example, let me give my example. Like if in I'm a data engineer, and I want to become an expert in my area, my field, then I should not just like rush and like I should create a long term plan, because becoming an expert in a field is not like will not happen in overnight. I need to take I need to have a bigger plan. I need to list down what all skills I can learn, and then I have to plan. Okay, I can take up this particular course, or I can learn this skill. Like that, I need to create a long term plan, so that I will not get exhausted by just okay, I need to do putting the pressure of doing it or getting it faster. So that is about the 5-year plan. Next thing is double your project timelines. So he talks about double making like a project timelines, like doubling your timeline. I know this may not apply to all of us, but who is someone who is freelancing, or like someone who has that autonomy, can definitely consider this. So they take more time to do with more, deliver it with more quality, and simplify your work day. Like this is again same thing, similar to what we discussed about, like the day should be simple. Like we need to have a clear plan. Like we should not complicate with too many things. Have simplify it. Okay, these are the 2 3 things I'm going to do. Just focus on that and get them. Don't like have like 100 things and get yourself overwhelmed. So that's about like simplifying the work day. And the other interesting thing is seasonality. I also like this topic because if you know, like in US, like we have seasons like, I mean, we have seasons like summer, winter, autumn, spring, and all that. But if you look at the work, like usually December, November, December, it's a holiday season where like mostly the workload will be lesser compared to the other period of time. So that is just to give us like little break. So we need to understand the importance of that seasonality. Instead of going and taking something too many things during that time, you let yourself enjoy that holiday time. Go spend time with your family and relax, and then once again the season of busy work will start, then you can come back to that mode. So sometimes like it's hard for us, like we want to like always be busy even during the holiday season. So we need to embrace the seasonality, and we can also bring this seasonality in our every week or like every month by scheduling some time, or like for example, like keep your workload lesser on Friday. That will not like that will be like a little breathing time for you. You have been working hard from Monday till Thursday. Maybe a little bit breathing time on Friday will help you like become relax a bit and get back to your work with more energy. And you can also do like a monthly once, like just take a half day off and go for a movie, something like that. So this may not resonate with everyone, but just do what works for you, like what help you to like relax and slow down, and take those, make that seasonality is like small, what do you call it, small amount of seasonality throughout the year, where like it will help you to like get some breathing time. And that's like about the implementing small seasonality. And yeah, like other point is like rest projects. Have some rest projects, in the sense some projects which you like to do, which may not be relevant to your work, but you enjoy doing it. You can take up those projects. It could be painting, or it could be learning music, or it could be anything that sparks your interest. So even like um, it doesn't have, like you don't have to think whether it's going to help you in your career, but you need to do few things. Take up some hobbies or interests that helps you, which you enjoy, and it will give you a break from the monotonous work schedule. So that's about scheduling rest projects. Make sure you schedule some rest projects now and then. The last chapter is about quality. Over quality. Obsess over the quality of what you produce, even if this means missing opportunities in short term. Leverage the value of these results to gain more and more freedom in your efforts over the long term. If I had to explain this with a simple example, I can give the example of some businesses, where some businesses, when they start, they will become very popular, and they will have a they will have an idea of expanding the business. Since the business is going in very profitable way, they will go with expanding the business, but sometimes they will miss to meet those quality. Just give me 1 minute, I'll pause here. I have to put my laptop on charge. Sorry, otherwise the laptop will switch off. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Coming back to quality. Yeah. So make sure the quality comes the first priority. Even if we are sacrificing on some opportunities, because quality is the one which will make us help us in the long run. So how to ensure we are able to do the things with quality is to spend enough time to produce great things. And for people who are in creative work, what he gives a tip called developing a taste. Developing a taste in the sense like you trying to, like in creative work, you need to have a taste how people will like it, or how this work will really be admired by people or liked by people. So that is something like an interesting point to develop taste, so that you will be able to do uh, beautiful things when you have a good taste. So usually there will be a little gap between our taste and the ability what we can do. So when I read this, so I could only relate to one thing, like a poem. Like when I'm reading a poem, like I feel like wow, how like beautifully they have written these lines. So that is kind of like reading. When you keep reading so many poems, right, you will also eventually develop some taste. Okay, this poem is really good, something like that. So when we develop that taste, what will happen is we will know what's our ability, and when we have done like created a product, we can see with our taste whether this will be a good, whether this will be a good uh, product to deliver. So so that taste will help us to like create beautiful things. So this applies to more to the people who are in creative work. So developing the taste was a really interesting point. And he was sharing about some examples in this, about like people who are in writing field, like they when they read a lot of books of other people's writing, and then they develop a taste. And they'll also have like group work where they discuss about what they admired from someone's work. That gives like a, like when we are say for example we are taking a movie. I watched one movie and I say, see, this scene was so good, this particular how the director has taken this scene, like this when we are discussing, right, we will see other people how they are admiring it, and then we'll learn to develop a taste. So this is what to explain this is what about the concept of developing the taste. So you can try this and see if it helps improving your work. Another thing is finding a place for deep work. Like, like let me give this particular concept he talked about from the book The Organized Mind, written by Daniel Levitin. So when we are constantly exposed to a lot of information, our brain is, feels overwhelmed with too many things, because the way our brain works is we have associated memory. When we look at a thing, not just for example, I'm working from home and I look at my laundry, like I get to see my laundry basket full without I haven't done my laundry. And I'm in the middle of work, but by mistake I saw my laundry basket. Then my mind will start thinking about, oh, I have to do my laundry, I have to fold the clothes. It will bring all the memories associated with the laundry task, and I will get distracted with the actual work what I have to do. So that's a interesting example which anyone can relate to. So this is the challenge in the environment in which we are working. The environment in which we are working should not be distracting us. For that, choose a place or office space where you don't have much distraction in your vision. So you will be more focused on your task and nothing comes and takes up your cognitive load. So that is about finding a place for deep work. Um, for me, library works, and even it doesn't have to be somewhere outside. Like you can also set up a office space or where you dedicate that space for work and no other distraction is there. So that is about place for the deep work. Last point about the rituals. Rituals is like creating our own personalized rituals. This point also was more connecting to the creative work, people in the creative field, where people who were having some rituals for themselves, they are able to be more creative. For example, he shared about an example of an poet, Mary Oliver, where she used to go for like walk in nature for like 2 3 hours, and when she goes for a walk in the nature for like a prolonged time, her mental state completely shifts, and she becomes like emotional and more receptive, and that allows her to write beautiful poems and be more creative. So this is a simple example, but you can create your own personalized ritual which will work for you. I will tell you a few rituals that I follow. This is mostly about like relaxing myself and slowing down. So in my community, I just go and sit and watch the birds. We have a stream in our community. In that, like we can see a lot of ducks. So I go and sit there. Even my husband has that ritual. We just go and sit there and watch the ducks. It's so relaxing. And other thing is like, so usually sometimes if I am completely stuck with something, I just go for a drive. So it helps me because when I am driving, my vision goes into peripheral vision. Like like for example, if you are in the front of system, your vision will be on focused vision. But when we are driving, our vision will be in peripheral vision, where like your eyes will relax and look at things which are at little far distance. So that helps me like to slow like enable me to think clearly. So this is like you have to personalize it with your own things, like how it works for you. So create some personal rituals and keep doing it, so it will help you a lot. And this thing, like the ritual, you can try to make the ritual more helpful for you to put you in a mental state where you are able to do the things more effectively. If it's a creative work or like focused work, more relevant to the task that you are doing. So that is all about those three chapters. I have covered all the three chapters at high level. To summarize, slow productivity is to organize our work and have a sustainable routine which will not burden us with too many things. Take fewer things and work in your own natural pace without any rush, and focus on the quality. And yeah, one point I forgot to add. Don't confuse perfection with quality. Perfection is like you want everything to be perfect. That is different from quality. Quality is all about excellence, making sure you do the things that you wanted to do in that particular task, how the way you wanted to deliver this particular task that you are doing, whatever you wanted to implement it, you do it instead of missing out because of the rush. So this is the summary, and thank you so much. It's a very long session. Thank you so much for your patience, listening to me. So I will end my session here, and I'll hand it over to Seva ma'am for discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Chitra ma'am. It was excellent and more informative session. Kindly give a applause for Chitra ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
For feedback, kindly raise your hands according to the order I will call you. Feedback or discussion. Sriram sir, please, your feedback, please.
Chitra ma'am, I also use Trello very extensively. I use Trello. So it was a very great session, especially pseudo productivity. Uh, you gave a very good input. Thanks a lot once again. It was a very good session. Moreover, using Kanban and all those things, you gave a very good information. Thanks a lot once again. Happy to know what all aspects. Planning to slow down. I think the session itself was slowed down, slowed down. So I really appreciate that you had slowed down and explained to us. Thanks once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else for feedback or discussion? Venkatraman, sir, your feedback, please. Venkatraman, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, good evening. Good morning, rather than. Very nice
Good
session, ma'am.
evening.
At this point of time, many of us have the trouble of doing things very fastly. But here, this is the need of the hour that we wanted this kind of session, and you're rightly presented with the valid inputs, what we are looking for. And I really appreciate for presenting us and guiding us. This is something like hand holding us with giving more practical examples. So this has given a great limelight for us. Fantastic, ma'am. Please keep up the good work. Heartfelt thanks to you and your family. We wish you all the best, ma'am. Please do come always and present these kind of sessions. This is need of the hour for the younger generation, which will certainly get benefited from this. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Seva, ma'am.
sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else?
God bless you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sengu, sir, your feedback.
No feedback, just a couple of questions to understand more about this. I think we have said enough and more about Chitra's dedication in preparing and presenting to us. Okay, I think one thing that has been very consistent in this space, other than Seva holding the space, is Chitra's contribution to the space, bringing some really interesting books like this and empowering everyone. Thank you, Chitra, for doing it again. Um, so
Thank you, sir.
I was just curious, as you were also mentioning as one of your comments or opinions, that is everything in this book um, is possible for someone like you who is employed, or is it a book more for self-employed people?
Yes, sir. Very good question. Actually, the thing is, everything may not work for everyone, and unless we have the autonomy. Like if we are a freelancer or we have a self, if we have a business, then we have the freedom to choose what to do. But the problem for the people who are employed, we sometimes we have the autonomy, like some managers give us the freedom to organize our day, but some, like it cannot be like assured while we are employed that we will be having that autonomy. So even the critic about this book was about this, like a lot of people criticized about a lot of things because they could not apply this for them, for their own work, because it focuses on like organizing our day and having our own schedule and all these things. So that's a good thing. Yeah. So
So yeah, I'm
that's
just
a
curious.
valid point, sir. That is a
No, no,
really valid.
I'm just curious to ask. I'm sorry, I'm not validating what the author said. Probably, if you have read the preface or what made Arthur write this book, if there is a backstory, I think that I'm not sure whether you said that in the beginning. I came a little late, so that might help to understand for whom the target audience is and what made the author write this book.
Correct, correct. So yes, yes, that he has clearly mentioned in the book, like this will. He has also like given a little bit of um, what do you say, like disclaimer kind of thing, that uh, this mainly focus on people in knowledge work and who do have the like autonomy to plan their day, and for others, like he's asking to like read these things and see if they can fit in few things. If they do not have the complete autonomy, like they can try to fit in one or two ideas from this. So maybe like for me, like if whenever I'm not having that freedom, then I'll focus on the quality aspect, like that. That yes, he has also mentioned about it, and he has also mentioned clearly that this is more this more focused on the creative work, and also to the people who have that autonomy to plan their day. So yes, yes, sir.